The Institute for Palestine and South Africa will soon host an exhibition called Express Your Solidarity for Palestine. Interestingly, many of the artists who are exhibiting, if not all of them, are non-Palestinian. I'm joined in studio by 4 of them, and we're going to speak a little bit more about what their art and this specific topic means for them. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Hi, Teresa.
Salani, I'm going to start with you on the end there, please.
Wow.
Tell us a little bit about why you wanted to exhibit at this particular event.
To be honest, I didn't wanted to show the event. We just decided to show the outcome because we went to Palestine to see what's happening. So it's a result of that, you know. It's not like a yeah, what can I say?
Tell us a little bit about your experience in Palestine.
Yeah, it's a very hurting story. It's a very hurting one, almost very hard to speak, you know, to speak about. It's very hurting. For me, it's almost personal because it reminds me of South Africa. I mean, what is happening now in South Africa. See, it's almost the same, or it's even worse here, but it's under the carpet. So it was a refreshing moment for me and a very brutal one, you know, like in terms of memory and all of that. Actually, I'm very damaged inside, like for real, to go there and see that shit like that, you see?
Of course, many groups, even government, are saying that what's happening in Palestine at the moment is reminiscent of apartheid South Africa and needs to be spoken out against. You've touched on that very briefly. You've made that connection. As a South African, or as South Africans, do you feel we can identify more with what's happening in Palestine at the moment?
Yeah, if we're conscious enough, I mean, if we're honest as people, but as far as things are happening, I mean, we're not in that state of relating to that. Because we don't, in South Africa, especially in Cape Town, we don't like to speak about things like racism and apartheid. It's an awkward thing to speak even. I mean, even among us, it's very difficult to speak of such things because it gets awkward. How can we even start talking about Palestine, you know? How can we even start painting even the situation? So, yeah, that's what is happening. I think there are very few people who can relate, who can, you know, it's those who who are seeking justice, like originally, not this hype thing like these cameras and shit, you know.
Ricardo, tell us a little bit about your work in this exhibition.
Yeah, well, I will exhibit a few paintings, collage, but most important for me is 2 performances I'm gonna do, because for me the body has energy, and all the energy I gathered in the tour will be out, and in a way that's my way of expressing my solidarity with the Palestinians. Yesterday we had a Skype conversation with Rana Bishara, who is a Palestinian artist, and she's getting really hard time. The problem is the media don't really say what should be said. You know, people feel detachment. When there is a screen, you know, you feel a bit of detachment because we don't live the thing, so we don't know it. And I was one of those. When then I went there and I saw the situation, I felt really like personal. And it's not only about Palestine, it's about the world. You know, everything is really fucked up. Yeah. So I'm gonna do 2 performances. One will be in the street tomorrow, and one will be at the opening on Saturday. And they represent, one is called Sweet Thorn, which is a symbol with barbed wire and stuff. And then the other one, Salt to Soul. Yeah, I can tell you more, but yeah, I think it's better next time. Eh?
It's better for our viewers to come and see it themselves.
Sure, yeah.
Rose, tell us a little bit about your work and why it means so much for you to be involved in this particular exhibition.
As Ricardo was saying, yesterday we spoke on Skype to Rana Bishara in Palestine, and I'm 23. The average age of children, people being killed in Palestine in the last couple of weeks is between 18 and 22. So for me, as a South African that was born into a new democracy, to forget that people aren't free when we feel like we're free is an extremely privileged situation to be in. And we must always remember that our freedom means nothing without the freedom of all other people. And South Africa would never have been a democracy if the international community at large had not boycotted South Africa, had not made pressure financially, economically on the apartheid regime to come to an end. My work is a work that I have a couple of collages and prints. I'm a printmaker on the exhibition. And then I will be doing a performance on St. George's Mall outside the venue on Saturday with my performance partner, Adam John. Our work is we construct a wall that can be transported to any place, and we stand on opposite sides of the wall and build. One of us constructs and the other one destructs the wall at the same time, as a metaphor for a continuous cycle of oppression and this, obviously the very literal thing of the wall. And then also our racial demographic is such that before the end of apartheid we wouldn't have been able to connect because he's a person of color and I'm Lily White.
Marguerite, tell us a little bit about your work.
You know, after visiting Palestine, it was very hard to adjust back into normal life because what we saw there and what we experienced there, it's like it gave you a different skin. And you come back to South Africa and you've absorbed cruelty and inhumanity somewhere else in the world, which started scratching on you because of where we come from and our South African heritage. And you don't know what to do with it. And for us as artists, when we were in Palestine, we were all talking about how can our art possibly convey what we've seen, and we didn't know how. But this exhibition is an opportunity for us to try and say something, just to try and make something seen. Because as Rose said, you know, during apartheid, if people didn't stick to their principles and stand up for something they believed in and stand up against things that were wrong, nothing would have happened. So I feel my work is my way of trying to sticking to my principles, looking out for, you know, just standing up for humanity, because people in South Africa are scared to become involved with the Palestinian issue because they feel it's political and they don't want to get involved, but it's a humanitarian issue. And so my work is trying to speak about that, what is happening somewhere else. And as Ricardo said, the media is not portraying what is happening there. It's not a truthful reflection, and it's a very one-sided reflection. And I feel I have two photographic kind of works, and I based the work on two photographs that I took in Palestine. One is of an Israeli guy in plain clothes but with a big M16 sucking a lollipop. So I built a work around that, and the other work is built around two little girls that I photographed that were playing. And it has to do with how a whole nation is being controlled by politics and power, and their humanity is being trampled in the process, their dignity, their past, their future, the trauma they're experiencing now is going to impact on their future. And it's a very sad thing, and it is something that needs to be spoken about. But within that, in Palestine, it was also very interesting to see how when things felt hopeless to us, the things we were seeing and experiencing and feeling, how hopeful people were that things would change eventually. And I tried to bring a little bit of that into my work as well, that hope is still there and we must help it any way we can.